Hey, what's up? This is going to be timeless reading, so whenever you tune into it, it may or may not be relevant. So I drew some theme cards. It was funny, while I was shuffling, I don't have the remote near me, so hopefully the nature sounds aren't too loud. I was shuffling, and I ended up putting this card back into the deck, reshuffled again, and it came out the same way. And so it's luck in reverse. The luck card wanted to come out in the last reading too, which is interesting. It's fun doing these readings. Sometimes I do a couple during the week. Sometimes I'll do them once a week. But it's just funny that the same cards will come out or reappear. This time, though, at the bottom of the deck we have completion. And you see the bones here. Restock in reverse, vitality, banish, and communication, all at the bottom of the deck. And then ascension. And then I drew from this old deck that I have. I don't think I've shown it before. Colette Baron-Reid has since converted her stance around these cards, so I don't like to use them because of that, but I felt drawn to them this time. So we have slow and steady. There's with the spiral, I'm just noticing here, and the completion card, and even as ascension came up further back in the deck, there's something here around cycles, time, I'm also getting the concept of a spiral being an incomplete circle, like it's almost a circle, and okay. So we have making. I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. Making choices at the bottom of the deck, as well. So we have these two crossroads. What I'm wanting to say is, the spiral is almost a complete circle. While you're drawing it, you're not making a circle, so it's like incomplete circles. It's to make the spiral, but as the spiral expands, it does make somewhat of a circle shape. So it feels like the concept of deciding to, whatever decision you make, this is interesting, whatever decision you make, I'm seeing one choice being a 180 degree decision and another choice being a 360 degree decision. So in one, you're making a change, and the other, you're just going back to where you started. Does that make sense? The bones allude to completing something that was in the past, or maybe you're digging something up to then complete a cycle. So this could be maybe some situation resurfaces, some body resurfaces for you to complete a cycle with, and that can look a bunch of different ways. It could be maybe you're reconciling with this person or this thing, you're giving up this thing, you're saying no to this thing, you're having a conversation that needed to be had, so some sort of closure, or you're deciding to just remove yourself from this person, place, or thing entirely, and that's you deciding to complete the cycle by energetically saying no, or saying no through your actions. But there could be something around making this choice where if you make this choice too quickly, you may end up making a decision from more of an impulsive place. It's like you're used to acting on a certain feeling, and making a decision from that than making a decision from a slow, responsible, and conscious choice. So for some, it may be that you have to take some time to make a specific decision. So it feels like you're making a decision from a place of balance, of neutrality, where you're not being triggered. I'm trying to decipher what this love card in reverse could be about, but I'm going to shuffle some tarot since we're already 6 minutes in, and then we'll do a final oracle card. Something about it makes me want to say that like things may be on pause at the moment. Almost like this is like some sort of a test before you continue going forward on whatever you're wanting to do. Also, in a way, like this thing could be some sort of a distraction. Like I'm imagining a person going about their life, minding their business, and then all of a sudden something from the past reappears, and it may like spin you out a bit. And you were doing well, you were focused. So this almost feels like a test of like, what have you been up to? Where have you been? What are you... This almost seems like something somebody would text someone else. But it feels like this is an internal check-in of like, okay, so how are you going to respond now? We have something new coming up, or it seems new, something older coming up, and this is going to be a test of like if you really are different from how you respond this time. I have the Death card as I split the deck, and then Ace of Cups. Yeah, Six of Cups in reverse. Six of Cups makes me think of like this emotional feeling of home and comfort, nostalgia. Lots of cups, lots of emotions here. Lots of different feelings coming up from something. This feels like something triggered a lot of different feelings, maybe even old feelings, or almost wanting to act on old behaviors. A little bit of romanticism too, being that the Seven of Cups, like the imagery of the Seven of Cups is here. It's like this emotional romanticism of like an idea of something. And it makes me feel like this could be relational, like a romantic situation where like you were sold a dream. It kind of stayed a dream for whatever reason. That's where the closure comes in. You may be coming up as Queen of Pentacles, someone who's very stable. I see the Knight of Wands in reverse. This could be the dynamic of this relationship. This person comes in hot, comes in fast. The thing comes in hot, comes in fast. It reappears. But it's still seeming to be immature. It still seems to be reckless. It still seems this thing or this person. It's easier to say it is a person when it comes to these cards. But you here are in this moment feeling a little bit more stable, a little bit more solid. You have a plan or a trajectory or an idea of what you want. You're investing in things in a particular way. Compared to this person, you're the more mature person. compared to this situation, you're maybe the more financially stable or abundant person. You may be even older. This could be a younger person that you're dealing with. I almost want to say a sibling, even, could be a possibility. But more than likely, it might be romance. So this is somebody coming in that you're comfortable with, that you're used to, but it feels like you're used to them in more of like this, could be slightly in this like escapist sort of way, which again brings me back to this like Seven of Cups and the clouds. It's like the concept of an emotional fulfillment or being emotionally fulfilled, but it's more of the idea of being emotionally fulfilled by a thing. And with all of these different objects in the cups, it feels like a lot of different like open-ended comments or promises that this person or thing has made. But as they're coming in, it looks like they still don't have anything to offer. They're childish, and the fact that it's in reverse, it may even be a situation where things are kind of upside down literally for them at this time when they're coming back into your life. But yeah, there's still some immaturity here. I think it's kind of obvious to you if you do relate to this like more grounded, mature, financially rooted Queen of Cups stance, if that feels like you. So this person is popping up kind of like messily. But I could see where there's some sort of an attraction because there's something about them that feels light and playful and adventurous and, different from the stability that you've been moving through. So it feels exciting in some way, even though this person is kind of like a hot mess right now. It's a change. I don't even want to say a change of scenery because that makes it sound positive, but it's just like a feeling of excitement when they reappear, or something about this seems exciting on the surface. The comfort that you're feeling is more out of like habit or familiarity, which, as I'm saying, it's a neutral thing, but this feels like it's familiar because of a pattern, because of something you're used to dealing with. It doesn't necessarily mean that this thing is a good thing to be used to. We have Aries and matcha, but I might only have space because we're already at 14 minutes. I'm going to read Aries. Turmoil, discord, and corruption are the key words. Eris is the goddess of chaos and discord. Drawing this card indicates that there's a high level of disorder in your present reality. A matter important to your well-being is out of your control. A matter important to your well-being is out of your control. It is incredibly important to remember that the pulse of the cosmos vacillates between order and chaos. If the situation you are facing is truly out of your hands, it is time to release all feelings of guilt or responsibility. Trust the universe to put things in order. On the other hand, if you do have the power to recreate harmony and set things right, then now is the time to do so. Let me just skim. Matcha is keywords are protection and defender of the home. She's an Irish war goddess who's strongly linked to her land. Set your boundaries firmly around what is rightfully yours. So both of these feel like there's things that you can control in this situation, and also a need to set boundaries and be protective of what you have built for yourself while this person was away, while you've decided to remove yourself from this situation or this relationship or whatever. Those things are worth protecting. And the protection, the boundary too, is of whatever chaos this person may be bringing into your energy, into your vibe, into your home, as in your space that you've built. So these things are really important to remember as you're deciding what you're going to do with this situation, because we started this reading with a crossroads, with completion. Are you going to like bury these bones, these old things, whether these habits, the normal way you would react in this situation or have reacted to this person or this situation? Or are you going to protect this thing that you've built? It feels like also something around emotional stability that you've built for yourself as well, while this thing or this person has been out of your life. So all of these things are something to consider as you're making this decision, whatever it is. But it feels like this cycle at this point that you can decide to complete this chapter, that you can close with whatever this situation may be. I'm sorry I have to go so fast towards the end. I just don't want this video to cut off. But again, we have this Irish goddess, I think that's what it said, and Eris, which something about Eris makes me think of relationships. I don't know the full lore behind her, but I do feel like this is a relationship-based reading at this time. Again, it could be a sibling, it could be a thing or a place or something. It doesn't have to be a person, but however this relates, if it does, wonderful, let me know down below. If not, don't let it fit if it doesn't. But yes, protect your peace. That seems to be the theme here, okay? You're doing great. Bye.